Shema, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back to Beyond Borders. Today we are getting into some more political videos. It's a bit of a change up in this Poland, reaction series and also travel channel, because we always dive into the travel videos, we always dive into the food, we dive into the culture, the beautiful destinations, but we haven't really done a lot of political videos about Poland.
Yes, and I guess we want to understand things on a deeper level as well, not just, like you said, the nature and the beauty and the food and all that, but we want to understand where Poland is economically and how they got there and kind of what the future holds for Poland in an economical aspect as well as a political sense. So I guess this is why we're really tackling the more political videos, you may say.
More sensitive topics, and I think Poland is also very mainstream at the moment. There's a lot of talk about the country, especially around the immigration aspect, or should I say illegal immigration aspect, and also the safety aspect. And from a political sense, there's a lot of attention on the country, and obviously we travel there a lot, and we've actually just gotten back from Poznan a few weeks ago, and we'll be posting those videos to the channel in the coming days or coming week, which we're super excited about. We really traveled far and deep and got to explore some hidden gems in Poznan, so stay tuned for that. But we travel to Poland a lot, and I think it's we only touch, the good things about Poland, and we touch all the things that the positive that you see. But I think also for the viewers that watch our channel, it's also important to give different aspects and also to learn a bit more. And I always say we don't focus on one set of videos, and we don't always agree with the videos. Like a lot of people say, the videos that we watch, we just do it for views, or we just watch these videos and are skewed by what we watch. But if you actually listen to what we talk about and discuss, I think you'll get a sense that we're very neutral, but also very pro-Poland in many senses. And I think the discussion around this aspect is very deep, and we want to know more about it. That's why we watch these videos, and it's great to obviously hear your guys' feedback. So if you enjoy these videos, then please like it, subscribe to our channel, and also get down in the conversation in the comments down below. We always do love the engagement.
Yes, we do read the comments. We're very interested. We have some great insights that we've learned from all the comments, so please keep on commenting. And yes, like James said, please subscribe if you guys are interested and want to see more of our travels to Poland and more of these types of videos where we're just having an open, honest conversation. We're not economists, we're not politicians, we're just talking and giving our view on what we see. So please, for our Polish audience, comment if we're wrong or mistaken, or you hear some false information in this video. Put it down in the comments. We're learning, we're reading, so shall we go?
In today's video, we are doing another series which is called Fight for Freedom, how Poland became the safest country in Europe. So once again, Dominik Tarczyński. He is looks like he's giving a bit of an interview on a podcast, and he's talking about Poland. And I really enjoy him as a person. I think he's a good guy, but I don't know. Some people have different views. But let's get into the video and let's see what it's about.
Dominik, a lot of times people say, well, when I go to Europe, like Tom was in Austria at the Formula One race, and he says, him and Leo, and he said, hey, when we were there, they took their families and they love Formula One. So, look, when we're talking to everybody, say, hey, we know you from the podcast. We need Trump to win. Why do you need Trump to win? Man, the world's a safer place when you're here. That's a secondhand story. Someone's telling you, and then they share it with other people. This is what people told me in Australia. This is what people told me in Europe. This is what they told me here. But you're direct contact. You're in it. You deal with EU. You deal with Poland. Right. You deal with your neighbors. You're one country in between you and Russia. So you're dealing directly with what's going on, right? And in a minute, I'll be asking you about Nord Stream, Putin, all these other things, NATO. I got a lot of questions for you. This may be a 2.5 hour conversation with you. But why is it what happens in America so important, what happens here, because that bleeds to the rest of the world?
I'll give you an example.
Before he answers, I mean, many of our videos that we have watched, whatever happens in America, they always say it follows on 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line into Europe. That's why if there's a strong America, you have a strong Europe. And if you have a weak America, you have a weak Europe. And it's a very controversial thing because you've got two different views on it. But America hasn't been really strong the past couple of years. It's been in a very weird state. They haven't been respected like they used to be back in the past. They've become very unsafe. Their cities have become overrun. And that is kind of followed on in Europe. And when Europe is doing, when America is doing good, Europe tends to follow. So Dominik is a very pro-Trump supporter. And I mean, he was very involved with the elections in the US because it has a direct influence on Poland. And it's so important for the safety not only of America, but for Europe. And Poland has such strong ties to that because they have the same sentiment as Trump.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump, as a president, is having a speech in UN before Ukraine was attacked. And he's directly speaking to German delegation. And he said, that's very famous speech from Mr. Trump. He said, do not cooperate with Russia. Do not take a gas from Russia because you will become dependent. You will be dependent on Russian oil and gas. Germans were laughing. They were sitting there, like that and laughing at Mr. Trump. You know what happened 6 months later? They called Poland and they asked us to share gas with them because they had a problem with energy because Nord Stream was destroyed. Russia was on sanctions and they couldn't cope without help from Poland. And what I mean by this example is he is right about not only about energy, he is right about geopolitical situation. He knows history. His visit in Poland, when he was describing Polish history, was amazing. The accents of different parts of Polish history was amazing. So
I've got a question though. So Trump said, obviously, don't make a deal with Russia with their gas because then you'll be dependent on them. But how many countries are dependent on America? Like you mentioned, if America does well, then everyone else does well. But is it okay for everyone to just be dependent on America? And the dollar, is the dollar still the backbone of a lot of countries?
I think the dollar backs a lot of, now I'm not an analyst and I'm not a person that really understands like markets and all that type of stuff. I'm not an economist, but I know it backs a lot of countries and it backs a lot of economies. And a lot of countries are dependent on the US, not only from, not from a financial sense, but also from a backing from a military perspective, because the US has got a really strong military. And when you go into a relationship with the US, a lot of countries, for example, back on having US military in their back door so that they can be defended, because many countries in Europe, that's why they are such a strong player in the European sense and got very strong ties with NATO, because America is a very strong role player. They're a superpower. I mean, they have been after the war, World War II. And I don't know, a lot of countries, yes, dependent on it, but I don't know how those countries break away. And Poles have a very good relationship with America because a lot of Poles actually immigrated to America when America was starting up, and also when Poland was in a very rundown state after World War II. A lot of Poles fled, not only to America, but around the world. So Poland has strong ties with America, not only because from a political sense of having the same thoughts and same feelings and same political agenda, but also because they've got a lot of people living there. But I don't know how to answer your question. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like you said, if America does badly, then it follows. I just wonder how countries like get away from that, how they can sort of build an independence where it's like, if America does decide to crumble and fall into pieces, are you basically saying that the rest of Europe will crumble and fall into pieces?
Kind of. I don't know. The world has the whole world has got a very strong relationship with the United States. When the United States goes down, the whole world kind of goes down. And there's a lot of things tied to it. It's not just the fact that they are a superpower, but a lot of global companies are based out the US.
Yeah,
So if the US market crashes, a lot of global companies go down, which affects the whole world because those companies got a global presence. They've got the US is very much a center part of a network around the globe. They are very strong network, and if that network goes down, you're affected. And even though countries don't want to be dependent on the States, I think that's why you've got the BRICS countries that are trying to form their own currency to like kind of not be dependent on US dollar. But whether you like it or not, the fact that the world kind of revolves around them because of the companies, the stock exchange, the influence that they have, the political power, the economy, and innovation happening there. That's why they are at the center of everything.
And also, if you think about it, like their power on social media, like their presence, I don't know, almost on all social media platforms, like majority of the news that you would hear, it's from Americans, and it's, so
that's why it's such a also controversial, because Western media can paint a bad picture for the rest of the world. But when America is strong, and under Trump, I believe it will be, Europe will be strong because Europe follows what America does because they want that connection and that relationship to be good. So if you've got, for example, Trump there who wants to end the war, who wants to have a very good sense of what is going on in Europe, then it will be a very, very good thing for Europe.
So he knows what Russia can do. Very famous words from late Polish president who was killed in Smolensk, Russia, plane crash. He said before he was killed, because I believe he was killed, he said in Georgia, when Georgia was attacked by Russia, he went there and he says, now Georgia, next Ukraine, then Baltic states, and then maybe Poland. Russia never changed throughout history, 16th, 17th century. You have to remember Poland was not on the map for 123 years because of the partitions. And obviously, the authors of the partitions, mainly Germany and Russia, never changed. We had 1410, in 1410, we had a very famous war between Germany, that was 15th century, then 16th century, 17th century. Every century was aggression, partitions, and Poland did not exist for 123 years. Then, in 1918, we gained our independence back, and then in 1939, they attacked as well. Not many people knows that the war started on 1st of September 1939, and 16 days later, started by a German attack on Poland, and then 16 days later, Russia attacked Poland from the east. Everyone, thinks that.
The crazy thing is that, like, Poland has just never had an opportunity to thrive, because every time they've made a step forward, something has happened. There's been a war, like you said.
Yeah, there's been centuries of like attacks on Poland, and I'm just wondering why. Like, is Poland like a threat to these countries.
Poles are a stronghold, and they
I think
are.
that they might be scaring,
I think people are scared of Poland, but it's a rich land, and people want it.
Yeah.
People want to own it, and now it's not a coincidence that since Poland has now gained independence since the 90s, for the past 30 years, they have just been climbing.
Yeah.
And there's been no war to affect them, and they just going up and up and up.
To me,
Yeah.
it's like, imagine where Poland would have been today if they were just left alone, like not invaded, not wiped off the map for 123 years. Like, where would they have been now? Because look what they've managed to do in the short amount of time.
I think, if they were left untouched and weren't attacked and all that, you could argue, one could argue that Poland would be the center of the world, strongest economy, strongest superpower.
There's something about Polish blood that's just it's like a strong, resilient nation.
Fighting,
Yeah, like,
determination.
as in also just strong, that they don't give up, they're persistent. And that's, I think, why they are where they are today. It's like they've made it so far. They've made it through centuries of wars and attacks, and now they're just climbing like exponentially, economically, just everything is working out. I mean,
There's one word that I would describe it, and that is resilient.
yeah, absolutely.
No matter what gets thrown at them, I mean, we've done so many videos of Polish history and what they've been through. They
Yeah.
stay resilient and they carry on pushing.
Yeah, they get knocked down and they come back up stronger every time. So
Get knocked down, come back 5 times harder.
yeah, well, that's amazing.
The Second World War was just Germany. No, it wasn't. It started with Germany on the first. Pact Ribbentrop-Molotov was a deal between Russia and Germany, and they attacked Poland from west and from the east. When they had a problem, Hitler with Stalin, when Stalin decided that, okay, I'm going to take over Germany now, he took over Poland in the same way as Germans. So we experienced so much pain. 123 years of non-existence, 6 million Poles killed during the war, 70 years of communism. That was so unbearable for the nation. And now we are, by the numbers, we are leaders because we know what it means to lose your freedom, to lose sovereignty.
That's very true. It's like you won't ever really be as passionate about something if you haven't felt how it feels not to have it.
Okay.
It's exactly what he's saying. Is like, we know how it feels to be so destroyed that now we will do everything in our power to never be in that position again.
All the stories about Poland and where they are at the moment is just like testament to all of this, because they've got one of the strongest armies now in Europe. They got one of the strongest economies. They've got one of the strongest, fastest growing GDPs in the world.
One of the safest countries.
One of the safest countries in the world. They are like no match for a lot of countries. And on top of that, they've got an amazing country. And
Beautiful.
there's a reason why they are wanting to protect that now.
Yeah.
They do not want to lose it.
And they will never.
I think if you're a Pole, whether you're living in Poland or have immigrated and you're living somewhere else, you are still super patriotic and super proud of your country, of where it's come. You've been hit with so much, and through that all, you're still coming out that fire shining and fighting. It's like, so I've said it so many times, we've said it so many times, that's why we enjoy Poland so much, is because of all these amazing, fantastic stories.
I wish I had Polish blood.
I think we should still do a DNA test. A DNA test to find out where our blood comes from.
Yeah, it's the thing about being I guess, white South African, is that we're all kind of descendants
from Europe.
And we don't actually know our background. So imagine I've got some Polish blood in me. That would be great.
The Polish viewers would love it.
Be in a jail as a nation for hundreds of years. So we cherish our freedom. We fight for it. We do understand what it means not to be free. So when someone is asking me, there was a funny situation because one of my colleagues, one of the members of the parliament asked me, what do you do? What's your plan for the vacation? I said, I'm going to work. I'm going to campaigning in US for Trump. And he said, but they do not elect you. Why would you go there? The America do not vote for you. They are not. Why would you do that? And I saw him. I saw the man who do not understand, who treats his position, his post as a work, and that's it. He's not from my party, by the way. So the main difference between us, Republicans, conservatives, in Europe, and Democrats, leftists, they don't care. They really don't care. They are hedonists. They want them to be happy today. They don't think about next generations. They don't think what's going to happen in 20, 30 or 50 years. I know my history, as John Paul II said, if you do not know your history, you will not build your future. So I do...
That's a very good...
I'm not a political person, but it's so true what he says. The left don't plan for the future. They don't take the history into account. And I don't know, I'm not, maybe a lot of people will attack me for saying that, but like, that's one thing I feel is very different.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, that's why I feel like I'm a Trump, or not feel like it, I know I am a Trump supporter, and because I align with his views, that's why I align with automatically where Poland is, because I feel like it's a very good set of values to have. You cherish your past, you respect your past, you respect how far you've come. You're not only focused on today, you're not only focused on your day-to-day lives, but you're also planning for the future. And you're also trying to direct your lives so that your kids and their kids' have a future. And I think that's what Poland is trying to do, and they're really trying to do it really well. I mean, that's why they've got this big no towards illegal immigration, because they are trying to look out for their generations in the future.
Poles first.
Poles first.
Yeah.
I do know what it means from my family, from the history of my country. I love my country. I love peace. I love Christian way of thinking and living. I want to fight, and I want to fight for it. I do want to fight for it because I do believe that this is important. I think that that we were created for something more than eat, sleep, and relax, let's say. We were created for bigger things. I want to live something after my life. I want to be proud when I'm, please God, 70 or 80, that I've done what I was called by God to do. I do believe that everyone has a talent, and this talent needs to be used in a proper way. My way of thinking was, because I'm a lawyer by the education.
Canon law, not just regular kind of law.
No, regular law. I do my PhD on international law.
Did you also study Canon law? Or?
No, that was the university, the branch of the university when I studied it. But yeah. I do my PhD on international law at the moment. I do my PhD on genocide, so I'll tell you more about it later, because this is very important.
PhD on genocide.
Yes, but I decided to become a lawyer because in my naive imagination, I thought that I will be able to become a prosecutor and put all the communists to jail. And then I found out that the post-communist system in Poland is created by the communists also in a judiciary system. So then I decided, okay, so if I cannot be a prosecutor because they are, politically dependent on post-communists, that was, early 2000s, I said, okay, so I have to be above them in some way. So I'll become a politician. I'm going to create reality rather than fight it. So I decided that I'm going to be a politician, but I served two terms in Polish Parliament, and then I was elected to European Parliament.
So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy not only Poland, but I enjoy Dominik because of I feel like he encapsulates everything what it means to be a Pole.
Yeah.
He's resilient, strong, passionate, cares about the future, cares about his country, puts his country first, and he, for me, encapsulates everything what it means to be a Pole. And he's not only fighting for his country in his own country, but he's also fighting for his country in other countries. He was, for the whole last stretch of the US elections, he took his holiday in America and was supporting Trump. I follow him on Instagram, and he was there supporting and really rallying up Poles that now live in America to get out and vote. So
It's just, I think the reason why we're so amazed by someone like him is because I have never had any sense that any of our presidents back home ever put South Africa first. Ever. It was always about themselves, and yeah, it's nice to see that there's actually someone that, a politician that really wants everything good for their own country.
if I was a Pole, I would be super proud because you are represented by, I would love to have a politician represent me like that.
Yeah.
But we still got a couple more videos to do in this political kind of series that goes with our channel. So if you enjoy it, then please definitely get a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot more videos coming up, so stay tuned. But until next time, this is Beyond Borders.
Over and out. Do widzenia.